Good morning, happy Mother's Day, and welcome to our Sunday virtual service. My name is James Parker. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. Well, my lesson title today is Mother's Love. When Bob found out he was going to inherit a fortune when his sickly father died, he decided he needed a woman to enjoy it with. So one evening, he went to a singles bar where he spotted the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. Her natural beauty took his breath away. I may look like just an ordinary man, he said as he walked up to her. But in just a week or two, my father will die and I'll inherit $20 million. Impressed, the woman went home with him that evening. 3 days later, she became his stepmother. Friends, there is something so precious about a mother's love. And today I want to share some profound stories and anecdotes in honor of this Mother's Day. A mother's love is as strong as life itself, will make every sacrifice to protect her offspring, and is prayerful and persistent in seeing only the best in her children. A mother's love is wholehearted and self-sacrificing. It's a love that indicates a spirit deeper and stronger than simple human instincts. There's a great story about how mothers were created that is attributed to Erma Bombeck. Let me share it with you. By the time the Lord made mothers, he was into his sixth day of working overtime. An angel appeared and said, "Why are you spending so much time on this one?" And the Lord answered and said, "Have you seen the spec sheet on her? She has to be completely washable, but not plastic. Have 200 movable parts, all replaceable. Run on black coffee and leftovers. Have a lap that can hold 3 children at one time and that disappears when she stands up. Have a kiss that can cure anything from a scraped knee to a broken heart. And have 6 pairs of hands." The angel was astonished at the requirements for this one. 6 pairs of hands? No way, said the angel. The Lord replied, "Oh, it's not the hands that are the problem. It's the 3 pairs of eyes that she must have." "And that's just on the standard model?" the angel asked. The Lord nodded, "Yes. 1 pair of eyes are to see through the closed doors as she asks her children what they are doing, even though she already knows. Another pair in the back of her head are to see what she needs to know, even though no one thinks she can. And the third pair are here in the front of her head. They are for looking at a naughty child and saying that she understands and loves him or her without even saying a single word." The angel tried to stop the Lord. "This is too much work for one day. Wait until tomorrow to finish." "But I can't," the Lord protested. "I am so close to finishing this creation that is so close to my own heart. She already heals herself when she is sick and can feed a family of 6 on a pound of hamburger and can get a 9-year-old to stand in the shower." The angel moved closer and touched the woman. "But you have made her so soft, Lord." "Yes, she is soft," the Lord agreed, "but I have also made her tough. You have no idea what she can endure or accomplish." "Will she be able to think?" asked the inquisitive angel. The Lord smiled and replied, "Not only will she be able to think, she will be able to reason and negotiate." The angel then noticed something and reached out and touched the woman's cheek. "Oops, it looks like you have a leak with this model. I told you that you were trying to put too much into this one." "That's not a leak," the Lord objected. "That is a tear." "What's the tear for?" the angel asked. The Lord said the tear is her way of expressing her joy, her sorrow, her disappointment, her pain, her loneliness, her grief, and her pride. The angel was impressed. "You're a genius, Lord. You thought of everything. Truly, you do all things well." Yes, moms are truly amazing. And that's what mothers are. And that is what we are honoring here today. For some of us, Mother's Day is beautiful and a beautiful and joyful event to be spent with our mother or to remember them if they have passed away. But for many of us, Mother's Day is filled with emotional complication and mixed feelings. Some had beloved mothers who have now passed away, and this has left them with a feeling of grief. Some desperately wanted to be mothers themselves, but destiny did not allow it. Some had mothers who were unavailable in one way or another. Some of you have lost a child. Some of you are not mothers in the usual sense of the word. Some of you are not even female, but men who have stepped into the role of nurturing as a mother would. The Jewish proverb says, God cannot be everywhere, and therefore he made mothers. There's a true story about the Statue of Liberty that relates to mothers. When the famous sculptor Bartholdi gave his time to create the Statue of Liberty, he also gave of his time to raise the $4 million needed to build the statue. People from all over France donated money for the statue. Of course, raising that kind of money, there were a lot of opinions about what the statue should look like. Many came to him and said, well, the statue should have the face of a superhero and the arms of someone totally loving and a body that radiates freedom out to all the people coming in. Some people told him that the statue should depict a famous person of great beauty. Bartholdi said his most difficult task was searching for a model for his statue. He finally found the model in his own kitchen. The Statue of Liberty is a model of his own mother. He said, in her is everything that I want to convey to the people coming to a free land to live a new life. Friends, we often hear about how a mother's love is so profound that nothing and no one can stand in the way of a mother and her child. Solomon had the wisdom to recognize the true mother of the child claimed by another. The selfish, grasping woman was willing to have the child cut in two, but the real mother was willing to give it up to assure its life. We only need to look at nature to see the overwhelming steps a mother takes to ensure their offspring, whether animal, bird, or human, is safe. But most mothers also take the steps necessary to show their offspring that there is a time to leave the nest, so to speak. I think for most of us, we were not pushed out of the nest and left to find our wings before hitting the ground, as some fledglings are. But even for those of us who were pushed out of the nest and left to find our wings on our own, we did. And we found our way, even though sometimes we came very close to hitting the ground several times before truly finding our wings. Honestly, for most, our mothers were secretly there, hovering beneath us, trying their best to make sure we didn't hit the ground. I know mine did, in her own way. Was she TV's Mrs. Cleaver from Leave It to Beaver, or Mrs. Anderson from Father Knows Best? Was she Harriet Nelson in The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, or Carol Brady of the Brady Bunch, or even Florence Evans of Good Times? Of course not. She was so much more. A famous dictionary and encyclopedia publisher said he picked 8 words that meant the most to people in this country. Alone is the most tragic of the 8. Forgotten is the saddest word. Love is the most beautiful word. Revenge is the cruelest word. Friendship is the warmest word. No is the coldest word. Tranquility is the most peaceful of the words. And mother is the first and most revered word on his list. Have you ever thought that if as a mother you feel fatigued, it is with good reason? It is said that in her lifetime as a mother, she will cook an average of 35,000 meals, make between 10,000 and 40,000 beds, depending on how many are in her family, before they learn to do it themselves, vacuum a rug a mile long and a tenth of a mile wide, and clean 700 plumbing fixtures while working a full-time job outside of the house. What have you seen in your mother's journey as you look back through your years? Think about that journey. What have and can you learn from it? Our mothers hold a special place in our lives. Whether they were the best mother or akin to Betty Davis and Mommy Dearest, there's always something that connects us to them. One day, Lionel phones his mother living in Green Bay, Wisconsin. "Mom, how are you?" he asks. "Not too good," answers Lionel's mother. "I've been very weak." Lionel, concerned, asks, "Why are you so weak, Mother?" She says, "Because I haven't eaten in 23 days. Lionel stammers, "That's terrible. Why haven't you eaten in 23 days? His mother replies, "Because I didn't want my mouth to be filled with food if you were to phone." Unfortunately, this is true for many mothers and their families. Have you called home lately? Maureen Hawkins wrote to her child. She said, "Before you were conceived, I wanted you. Before you were born, I loved you. Before you were here an hour, I would die for you. This is the miracle of love." Friends, divine motherhood is the brooding, nourishing element of divine mind in which spiritual ideas are brought to fruition. Unity co-founder Myrtle Fillmore said, "It is my great joy to perceive somewhat of the mother side of God, the divine love that never fails." In prayer, let us bless all who have played a motherly role in our lives, not just the mother who's given birth to us, but also the fathers, grandmothers, aunts, uncles, or older siblings who held us close. Let us bless everyone, male or female, who has shared with us the divine love that never fails. Everyone who has nurtured us, who has encouraged us by believing in our potential for good and has blessed us with the motherly love of God. Just as we have received, let us give love in return. Let us pay the love we've received forward, sharing comfort and understanding. Motherhood is more than just a title given to those who bear children. It is a way of being a greater presence of love in the world. Today, allow yourself to focus on this God-given power. Today, allow your spirit of love to show up as a center of support for others. Today, remind yourself to be grateful to be an expression of motherly love. And if you are fortunate and blessed enough to be one among us whose mother is still with us, pick up the phone and give her a call. Are you willing to do this with me today? Well, thank you all, and God bless you.